One thing I've always been curious about is if it's possible to Cerakote something plastic. So I'm going to pull a plastic part off the 125 and try coating it. This should be interesting. These are easy candidates right here. The caliper and rotor guard would be perfect parts to test on, and they would look so much better in black. These guards are getting pretty beat up and yellowed, but I should be able to revive them with some coating here. So what I'm going to do is clean them up with degreaser, wipe them down with acetone, since I'm not really sure if they would hold up to soaking in acetone, then bead blast them, and then see if they would take some heat through the oven. I'm not quite sure if sandblasting is safe for plastic or not. I mean, it definitely roughens up the material, which is great for preparation for a coating, but it kind of impregnates the plastic with little beads of sand. So I'm going to wipe these parts down with acetone and then see if they can take some heat through the oven. So I ended up cutting down the hanger wires pretty short, so that way the parts are farther away from the heating element. Definitely don't want to distort or melt them at all. So Cerakote recommends curing plastic parts at 150 degrees for 2 hours. So I'm going to try these parts in the oven at 150 for like 20 minutes, see if this type of plastic will hold up or not. So why Cerakote instead of something like spray paint? Well, first off, spray paint usually doesn't hold up very well on plastic, and in my experience, Cerakote or ceramic coating is a much more durable finish, but I'm not quite sure how it'll hold up on something like these plastic guards, which are pretty flexible and they get bent and beat around quite a bit on the bike. So what I'll probably do is finish up the coating, mount them up on the bike, do a few rides, and report back with how they're holding up. So I've had this stuff in the oven for about 20 minutes now. Hopefully there's not a pool of plastic on the bottom of the oven. Nope, looks like they're holding up pretty well. So I'm gonna pull them out and shoot them with Cerakote. So it's been a full 2 hours with this stuff in the oven. I really hope it turned out good. Hey, look at that. Not too bad at all. So I've let the Cerakote cool down and harden up for a few hours, and this finish actually looks pretty good, although it's still a bit scraped up from before. So I'm really hoping that this type of coating holds up. One thing I was curious about with the Cerakote is if it can withstand the flexing of plastic. This rotor guard gets a ton of abuse when on the bike, so it'll be interesting to see if it can withstand that. So right now I'm just going to bend the guard around, kind of twist it up, see if that Cerakote cracks at all. Looks like it's holding up pretty well. But now the real test will be running these parts on the bike. I would have to say that looks a whole lot better than white. Now I could have just gone out and spent 30 or 40 bucks on new guards from Honda that are already black, but you know what? I'm the do-it-yourself type, and this was a fun little project, and it was more of a test for a future project you guys will be seeing soon. So I'm gonna do a few rides on these guards and report back to see how they fare. It's a few weeks later, and I've ridden the bike a couple times, just finished washing it up. So let's take a look at these rotor and caliper guards. So far I don't see any white showing through. There's a few scuffs here and there, but pretty impressive results for just spraying a coating on some plastic. As I put more hours on these parts, I'll post a little update over on Instagram with how they're holding up. So go find that page. It's at Cameron Niemela. Same spelling as here on YouTube. Hope you guys enjoyed this little experiment. It was really fun to do, and I've got a lot more of these coming your way. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching, and keep it prime, everyone.